Hello, it's March the 9th here in Vietnam. This is VTV News Live at 8 a.m. local time. I'm Lina Pham, and let's see what we have in store for you in this bulletin. Cam Ranh International Port inaugurated on March the 8th. The port will serve both civilian and military vessels. Vietnam's IT industry shows major potential. And Phấn Nụ, the beauty secret of a royal court lives on. President Trương Tấn Sang left Hanoi on March the 8th, heading to Tanzania, Mozambique, and Iran for state visits from March the 9th to the 15th. The visits are following invitations by Tanzanian President John Magufuli, Mozambican President Filipe Jacinto Nyusi, and Iranian President Hassan Rouhani. Accompanying the state leader are several ministers and leaders of the State Bank of Vietnam and the Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Moving on to some other news, Cam Ranh International Port in the southern central coastal province of Khánh Hòa was inaugurated at a ceremony on March the 8th. President Trương Tấn Sang attended the event. Once completed, Cam Ranh International Port is expected to become the biggest port in Vietnam in terms of wharf length. The port will be capable of handling 18 ships at one time and accommodate vessels of up to 110,000 deadweight tonnage. The port will be capable of receiving 185 ships a year and is designed to protect ships against severe wind and storms. The port will serve both civilian and military vessels. Cam Ranh Bay holds a strategic position in the East Sea due to its proximity to international navigation routes and Paracel and Spratly archipelagos, as well as to oil and gas areas in the Vietnam Southeast continental shelf. Vietnamese Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc and visiting Azerbaijan Justice Minister Fikret Mamadov met on March the 8th in Hanoi to discuss bilateral relations between the two countries. The Deputy Prime Minister praised the result of work between Chief Justices of the two countries, contributing to strengthening and promoting the traditional ties between the two countries. Azerbaijan Justice Minister Fikret Mamadov said his visit was intended to boost links between the two justice ministries and share information on judicial reform. He said the two sides would sign an agreement on strengthening judicial training. Ho Chi Minh City's municipal authorities held talks with businesses on March the 8th. Politburo member, Secretary of the Ho Chi Minh City Party Committee, Đinh La Thăng, attended the event. The biggest issue businesses pointed were access to credit and tax. The city's Textile, Embroidery and Knitting Association highlighted the need to bolster support industries and attract investment into a BOT waste water treatment system. Businesses also called for heavier penalties against counterfeit and pirated goods. The event also discussed difficulties in raising the minimum wage and to sign labor contracts after 1-month probation periods. The municipal authorities listened to the comments and proposals and called on city departments and agencies to look at solutions. Vietnam's information technology sector employs more than 400,000 skilled workers who meet international standards, according to estimates from the Ministry of Information and Communications. The Vietnamese software industry is believed to hold substantial potential for continued growth, as the country has been listed now among the top 10 software exporters worldwide. Dai Chang has the story.
Also, Vietnam is a 100% Japanese-owned business that has operated in Vietnam for nearly 10 years. The firm gained a foothold in the Vietnamese software market as a leading software and IT solution provider. Hiroshi Watabe, the company's director, has pointed out the main reason why Vietnam has been an attractive destination for foreign firms.
I had the opportunity to work with many Asian countries and found that the quality of human resources in Vietnam is quite outstanding compared to other countries. More importantly, they are very young, 26, 27 years old. What is more, production costs in Vietnam remain low compared with competitors such as China or India, despite its recent upward trend.
Currently, there are 4,000 companies operating in the Vietnamese software industry engaged in export activities. However, most of them are focused on software processing business rather than entirely producing the products. This situation has somehow worsened Vietnam's advantages in terms of human resources, technology, and our resources.
Vietnam's software industry can compete internationally in terms of cloud computing, big data, and mobility. Vietnam has seen a world-class hub for outsourcing providers, and businesses are standing great chances to research and develop their own software products.
Efforts by businesses have received a boost from authorities eager to seize the opportunities emerging from the country's integration process. Besides the law on information security, which will officially take effect this July, Vietnam is currently building specialized IT development areas, which offer preferential policies, incentives for businesses and workers in the field.
In Vietnam, the HEDSPI program, which provides intensive training for IT engineers, proves effective. The program also incorporates foreign language training in its curriculum, showing the country's policy in developing IT human resources.
The Vietnamese government has directed ministries and agencies to provide detailed plans on tax incentives for IT enterprises, including those with software exporting services. And this is expected to encourage more enterprises to participate in the software production process, thereby raising the localization rate for Vietnamese software products.
A seminar discussing global trends and ways to develop Vietnam's vocational training strategy was held in Hanoi on March the 7th by the UK Embassy and the Ministry of Labour, Invalid and Social Affairs. Deputy Prime Minister Vũ Đức Đam and UK Prime Minister's Special Envoy Lord David Putnam co-chaired the event.
The birth of the ASEAN Economic Community has paved the way for not only export, imports and investments, but also greater movement of skilled labor in the region. However, a considerable percentage of Vietnamese workers aren't even skilled enough to meet the requirements of domestic firms after graduation.
There
are now plenty of opportunities for workers to find jobs in countries in the region. However, competition is fierce. High-income jobs will be taken by foreign workers if Vietnamese workers aren't up to scratch. Foreign workers have the advantages in terms of skills, knowledge and language capability, all of which are challenges for Vietnamese workers. Our education system should be reformed to equip workers with the skills that the market and the employers need.
At the event, representatives of the UK Embassy also shared their experiences in vocational training and discussed plans to promote cooperation on the issue in Vietnam.
In universities in the UK, in order to help their students get employment, build stronger relationships with employers through partnerships, through joint investment for equipment and machinery and other opportunities where students can work with the employer to solve particular real issues.
The conference put forth the recommendations and plans to promote vocational training in Vietnam in the future.
To a vocational college because they know that they're going to get more work experience and they're more likely to get employment and to earn money earlier than if they went to a higher education institution.
We need more precise forecasts of market demand to reform our education and vocational training so that Vietnamese workers can find jobs.
Vietnam currently has a golden population structure, which offers an unrivaled opportunity to transform Vietnam into an industrial country. It can only be achieved if productivity is heightened and the gap between Vietnamese businesses and those abroad are reduced.
Decree 67 has played a key role in promoting the country's fisheries sector. After a year implementation, total credit to fishing communities across the country has reached nearly $90 million. Politburo member Governor Nguyễn Văn Bình of the State Bank of Vietnam attended a conference in Quảng Ngãi province to discuss the implementation of the decree.
Nguyễn Sáu is one of the first fishermen in Quảng Ngãi province to have enjoyed the loans issued according to Decree number 67. He invested nearly $200,000 into building a new vessel, and the investment has really paid off.
I was lent money to build a new 765 CV vessel. The capacity of the old ship wasn't good enough for offshore fishing. The new ship that I was able to build thanks to Decree 67 set sail for the first time in March last year and has made 6 fishing trips so far. It's also a lot safer at sea.
After a year of implementation, Decree number 67 has provided resources to build and upgrade 385 ships at the expense of nearly $180 million. 84 newly built ships and 12 upgraded ships have been put into use. However, problems in value-added tax, regulations to use old facilities, as well as the investment in new facilities still persist.
We need fishing ports that can receive larger boats. Second, there should be more services to create jobs for the locals.
The decree is a long-term policy and will be adjusted to better facilitate fishermen in the future.
We need to establish a system of consumers to create an integrated chain of production. The family business model is no longer suitable. Team and cooperative production must be encouraged and comprehensively implemented.
Since the middle of 2015, the number of loan agreement contracts signed has increased 5-fold to facilitate offshore fishing. More adjustments will be made to the decree implementation towards the establishment of offshore fishing teams.
Coming up next on VTV News, fishermen claim attack by Chinese boat. And later on, Phanu, beauty's secret of a royal court lives on.
Exotic Vietnam is an intriguing blend of many charms. This land is where all manner of stunning landscapes await like a visual feast, rivaled only by the beauty of its people and their abundantly rich tradition and culture. Here is where you can relive the past in richest color or live it up in the bright lights of the big city. With so much more to offer, Vietnam is simply unforgettable.
Fishermen from Quảng Nam province claimed that they were attacked by a Chinese vessel. The fishing boat directed by Võ Quang Thái and other 10 fishermen was anchored at Kỳ Hà Port, Núi Thành district when the incident occurred. They said that their fishing tools and equipment were damaged and food was taken. After receiving the information, Quảng Nam border guards checked the losses and reported the incident to higher level agencies. The incident is still under investigation. Vietnam hopes the Thai Ministry of Defense and War Veterans Association will share information relating to Vietnamese war dead who lost their lives along the Cambodia-Thailand border. Deputy Defense Minister Nguyễn Thành Cung made the statement at a working session with Thai Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Defense Prawit Wusongwan in Bangkok on March the 7th. Vietnam said it was also willing to provide Thailand with any information that it had on missing Thai soldiers. The Deputy Minister also asked the Thai government to facilitate the repatriation of Vietnamese martyr remains in Nong Khai province and the northern part of Thailand and the Lao-Cambodia border. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Defense Prawit agreed and confirmed that the Thai government and Ministry of Defense would instruct war veterans organizations to become actively involved in the search for the remains of Vietnamese war dead. A target of achieving 35% female representation in both the National Assembly and Local People's Committee has been set for the upcoming local and general election. In order to achieve this target, selecting candidates will prove an important task, with a second consultative meeting to play a role in this process.
The 45th Standing Committee of the National Assembly heard proposals from Deputy Trần Thị Quốc Khánh on the draft law on public administrative procedures. This was the first time a female deputy submitted a draft law.
During a field trip, business representatives accompanying me said that there were too many procedures. So in the draft law, I suggested that each government agency should answer all related questions from the public and businesses.
It may take time for the draft law to be passed, but it has received a good response. Encouraging and creating conditions for women's participation in National Assembly and People's Committees is a necessity.
The government has paid much attention to encouraging women to become deputies in order to increase the number of female deputies.
In order to reach the target number of female deputies in the 14th National Assembly, some deputies have suggested the eligibility of female candidates should be discussed during the second consultative meeting.
Female candidates should be chosen based on their ability instead of age and party status, so they can represent for the voice of other women and residents.
The 35 target is part of the wider campaign to promote gender equality. It is one step for women to participate in other next National Assembly and People's Committees.
The legalization of sex reassignment in Vietnam on November the 24th last year is a breakthrough for trans women to blend in the community. With this new development, trans women are trying their best to prove themselves and to make a stand for the LGBT community in Vietnam. On the occasion of International Women's Day, our VTV reporter Hai Anh brings you stories of some of the trans women.
Nguyễn Kim Mai is well known among trans women in Hanoi. She is also a member of Ruby, the only transgender model club in the city. Mai has participated in 30 fashion shows since she first joined the club in May 2015.
I feel much more confident with my appearance now. I always knew that my inborn body is not supposed to be mine. I first told that to my mom when I turned 18. Perhaps my family and friends already knew that because they weren't surprised.
Kim Mai is now a student of the Spanish language faculty in Hanoi University. She feels lucky to be supported by her families and friends when she decided to come out with her true gender.
Day at the university. Despite her appearance changing, her character remains. She is very friendly and supportive to her friends.
Ha Minh Tuấn, or Ha Min, is a transgender fashion designer. Unlike Kim Mai, Ha Min realized her gender after a very long time.
At first, my parents, they were very worried, so worried because they were worried about my health, financial issue, and then it just came as a shock to them. So they needed some time to take it in and accept me as my new self.
After Ha Min revealed her true gender, she discovered some of her talents such as makeup and fashion design.
It will be my first International Women's Day, so I want to look really pretty. I will go out and do some shopping and get myself a really nice dress.
There are many more popular transgender artists in Vietnam, including Hương Giang Idol, Lâm Chí Khanh, and Vũ Tiến Mạnh. They are praised for their talents and efforts in their career and personal lives.
With the passing of the amended Civil Code in 2015, people who undergo gender reassignment surgery will have the right to register under their new gender. This decision is expected to help eliminate discrimination against trans gender people and help them to improve their self-esteem. For trans women in particular, holidays dedicated to women will now hold more meaningful. Hải Anh from Vietnam Television, Hà Nội.
Dubbed as Vietnam's Van Gogh, Phạm Lực is the only contemporary artist who has his own collectors' club. Women have always been a main topic to attract painters and art lovers alike. On the occasion of International Women's Day, an exhibition of Phạm Lực work entitled Vietnamese Flower, owned by Nguyễn Sĩ Dũng, was held in Hanoi. More to follow.
The picture featuring the image of old woman has attracted many visitors. With natural shading and vivid colors, the painting depicts a Vietnamese woman's desire for family happiness.
This picture features the image of my parents. My father was a Mandarin during the Nguyen dynasty. When he had to go far away, my mother went with him. My mother has the classical beauty of Vietnamese women.
Phạm Lực paintings feature things which are very close to Vietnamese lives, such as motherhood, the countryside and landscape, and animals. However, the work on women fascinates collectors most of all.
He was successful in featuring the beauty of Vietnamese women. He drew the images of the women when they worked in field and fed their babies. In his paintings, we can see his appreciation of Vietnamese women.
Visitors, especially young people, have been touched by the beautiful soul of Vietnamese women, which are portrayed in Phạm Lực paintings.
Through these pictures, I can see the traditional beauty of Vietnamese women. The painting of a woman working in a field impressed me most. That work should be carried out by men. The exhibition is very meaningful for us. We know more about our women who are working hard for all their life. They are good examples for us to follow.
With more than 1,000 paintings of women, artist Phạm Lực has portrayed the hidden charm of Vietnamese women in wartime and in modern life.
A French photographer who currently based in the central town of Hội An has recently donated his popular photo capturing an old Vietnamese lady to the Vietnamese Women's Museum in Hanoi. The photo of 78-year-old boat rower Bùi Thị Song taken in Hội An is one of the first that Rehan captured for his Hidden Smile photography project. The picture, which is one of his most well-known photos, has been given to the museum on the occasion of the International Women's Day, March the 8th. This event is at the same time intended to honor the hidden beauty and grace of Vietnamese women, with Rehan's photo representing their timeless charm, depicting in the most unpretentious way. A ceremony was held at the museum with the participation of Rehan Song and representatives from the museum and French embassy. Yet another beauty pageant is set to be held as Miss Vietnam Global Heritage 2016 officially kicked off on Tuesday. The competition is open to Vietnamese entrants studying and working in the country and abroad. The criteria for the crown include physical beauty, intellect, talent, compassion, and confidence. The organizers intend to hold the competition in Asia and Germany, Russia, and the US, where many Vietnamese people are living. 30 to 40 contestants will be chosen for the final round, expected to be held on July the 1st to the 7th. The finale will take place on July the 15th. Phấn Nụ, or flower bud face powder, a plant-based cosmetic product, was one of the beauty secrets of royal women used in the feudal era. The recipe for making the powder has been kept until now and turned into a craft.
Phấn Nụ was used in the Nguyen dynasty for only the queen and her royal maids. Trần Thị Ai Thu learned the secret of making the powder and has maintained the craft for many years.
3 generations of our family have been making this face powder. My grandmother used it when she was a maid at the palace. The powder is made from kaolin and herbs.
It takes 1 month to make the powder. One of the ingredients, rainwater, is taken from the second rain during the rainy season and carefully filtered. The others, including jasmine flower root and Chinese herbs, have created the scent for the powder. Despite only being used by a royal court in the past, it has become a favorite for women nowadays.
In the past, only royals could use this powder, but now it has become a craft so anyone can use it. And I encourage my children to use this traditional face powder. I usually buy this face powder for my sisters and also my employees. Every woman can use it no matter what their job is.
Despite many choices of cosmetic products appeared in the market, Phenoot still remains a popular choice for women in part thanks to its traditional value.
Now let's take a look at the weather updates. And that's all we have for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for being with us. Feel free to log on to vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go for other updates. Or catch us again at 3 p.m. local time. I'm Lina Pham from VTV International. For now, goodbye from Hanoi.